Awesome stuff. There we go. There we go. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Crow. Kenneth Francis in the saddle again on another Thursday night. Yeah, this is another MoveQuest Momentum Thursday night Zoom. We have some updates tonight with our incredible creator, Miss Lynette Artin, and really excited to hear from her. So we want to keep this one short and sweet tonight. Um, give you some updates and see where she is at.
Well,
Where
real
is
quick.
Lynette? Is she on?
Yes, she is. But real quick, Ken, I just want to, I can tell you really been moving because it's actually Tuesday night. So
You know what? Wow, I
it's
said
actually
Thursday.
Tuesday night.
Did I say
But,
Thursday?
huh?
Wow. I did say Thursday. And I actually said the date a few seconds ago. You're right. I have been moving.
Exactly.
Tuesday night.
Right. But a couple quick things real quick before we bring our brilliant creator to the table. Our Tuesday night calls are geared toward getting updates. So this is a very robust platform, and there's details that our creator is going to share with us. And we're going to try to break this down into bite-sized pieces so everybody can understand and grasp it. These calls are not overviews or presentations per se, or what have you. So I can tell by looking at the majority of the audience, these are individuals that are already in the community, already engaged, and things of that nature, so that we can get the substantive information that we can go, we can share with other individuals to help them understand how the platform works. And on Monday and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're still having our actual overview calls where we can actually share and bring new individuals to, hear or see a presentation. And we're collectively working towards being able to provide some cohesive, succinct video presentations that we can all share with the world, so to speak, that will encapsulate all the information from all the new things that are being added to this robust ecosystem. So just wanted to share those things with you. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and this lady is brilliant. She has done a lot, put in a lot of hard work putting this platform together, and she never ceases to amaze me with some of the creative ideas and things that she's been able to put together and structure for the long-term sustainability, viability, and usability of this platform. So I want to go ahead and introduce to anybody that's new, or what have you, Miss Lynette Arden. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Awesome, awesome. Can everybody hear me good?
Loud
We
and clear.
can.
All right, good. I'm keeping my video up. It's been one of those days. Okay, so glad everybody is here. And of course, I'm going to give you updates on where we are with the token at the moment. And I'm not going to go in depth over this contract. I'm just going to give you the highlights of it because I've gone over it and over it. You guys can catch up on some of the past recordings if you want to kind of understand what this spreadsheet is all about. So currently, right now, the market value of MoveQuest is at $10.67. We've got a max supply of 21 million MoveQuest. There's 20,360,000 in the vault. Right now, outside of the vault is 639,924 MoveQuest tokens. Our FDV, if you go look at the different uh, exchanges, or if you go look at like Dex Tools or one of those types of platforms, we don't have an accurate FDV at the moment because we are waiting for the rebrand MoveQuest.com and MoveQuest.io site to come up, and then CoinMarketCap will be able to put our accurate website information, and then everything will be verified by CoinMarketCap, and then we'll take our rightful place on CoinGecko and these other top crypto platforms that categorize the different tokens that are on the market. Currently, MoveQuest should be ranked based on market value and the liquidity to ratio token supply that's circulating. We'd be ranked at about the third move to earn project. And as our liquidity begins to increase, we'll actually assume the first position and we'll be able to maintain that because there's not a move to earn project out there that can touch us. And that is just fact. These are the MoveQuest tokens that are in contracts. So in total, there's been a total of 876,642 MoveQuest tokens that have been in circulation. The evolution contract holds a complete total of 303,396 MoveQuest tokens. This amount is in contracts. This amount is still in the evolution wallet, which will be transferred over when it hits 100,000 probably. The contracts are holding 352,000 MoveQuest. This is where the hatchery becomes really important. I'm going to go over the 4-tier hatchery in the calculator. Once the call's over, I'll make that available to everybody who wants the spreadsheet, and then the developers will get it put up on the website. There's some programming that has to be done for that. So I wouldn't expect it to be programmed into the website for a couple of weeks, but I can make the spreadsheet available to those of you who want it. Currently, the community is holding 287,391 MoveQuest tokens. That brings us down to the ranking of our liquidity pool for the FDV. If you include the all of the only the tokens that are being held in wallets, right? Not including the hatchery. We should have a liquidity pool of $3 million to reach today's current market value, which is $10.67. That would mean everybody who's holding MoveQuest would be able to sell it pretty much at that price. Obviously, it starts to drop a little bit depending on what levels the liquidity is pretty padded at. And honestly, that's pretty good, market value. We're only about $425,000 shy of that because we already have over 300,000 MoveQuest banked for liquidity, and it only needs 89,000 of the over 300,000. So basically half of the liquidity is already banked. It's just the USDT that has to be paired to it. We have a pool that is almost 70% fluid. That's really, really, really good. Even if you see people that are selling right now, I'm telling you guys, don't get disappointed. The wealthier you're going to be, because that just means they're not going to sell when the market value is high. And we've got really tight tokenomics. It's only going to get better. Okay. So like this morning I saw somebody post something in there with a sad face. I'm like, oh no, that's got to go. This is not a sad time. This is a great time. If people want to sell, they're selling. That's what a self-sustaining ecosystem is all about. It's going to get even stronger as the community begins to share the project, and the community begins to grow. You're going to really start seeing that liquidity pool become much, much more stable because you've got the weak hands have already sold. Okay, there's a reason why they call diamond hands, and weak hands, weak hands. It's just shaking the tree, okay, and everything that's loose just falls, and that's a good thing. You got to have your sellers as much as you have to have your buyers for a healthy market. Would we love to see people holding right now? Because boy, them green candles just look beautiful, don't they? Absolutely. But think about it down the road, because if they'll sell when it's at $10, you know darn well they're going to sell when it's at $40 or $50. So let them sell now. Not a big deal. And not only that, but everybody's got different financial needs, right? Some people, $10 is what they want. I mean, they're happy with that. That's life-changing for some people. For some people, it's, doing things that they need done in their lives. Those of you that don't have to sell it at the $10 mark and you're holding until it hits that $50 mark or that $100 mark again, kudos to you. It's just more money in your pocket. So don't pay too much attention to what the community is doing right now. You'll start to see, when the community is starting to grow and you start to see that peer-to-peer drive start to take place again with that new rebrand that's coming out. I mean, you guys are going to see it flip around. You're going to want those tokens in that pool. I mean, there's really not that many in that liquidity pool. There's only like 55,000 in there. It'd be really nice to have, of course, the liquidity to match it, the USDT, and get it up there to that $5 to $10 million mark. That doesn't happen overnight. Okay, guys, that it takes time. And we haven't really gone out and done any like major marketing. We have a very small community. Look at how strong this token has been since August 1st, with a very small community of about 5,000 submitters every day. So personally, I'm very pleased with the project. I mean, we'd love to see it take off and do amazing things overnight. 100%, but that only happens once in a while, right? And when you get something that's this solid, people are used to instant overnight gratification. This is not one of those rug pulls here today, gone tomorrow kind of projects. This here is here to stay. It can never bankrupt. Okay, it can never go away. It's completely decentralized, 100% on the blockchain. And that's the good thing. So as long as the community's engaged, the project is strong and it's only going to get better. So don't let the market value, get you discouraged. There's always the flip side to everything. Some people look at the downside of things, but when you flip it, there's always a good side to every downside. And the good side is that you're people that will sell without taking consideration of what actually is in the liquidity pool. They would have sold when it got higher too, even if it wasn't the right time. So let them sell when it's like this, even though it's not the right time and we're still a baby pool and it's not as stable as we'd like it to be. Let them sell now and don't get disappointed because this project is very, very strong. Now, if you take the MoveQuest that's in the hatchery, okay, that's the people who are in the current hatchery. There's 124,835 of those MoveQuests. That is included in these contract holdings. Every day, some of those MoveQuests come out of that hatchery, right? When your cards are done, you claim that MoveQuest back. And I did go and research quite a bit. We had over 1,000 uh, miners hatch in the last 48 hours. And that's where you're seeing that selling pressure. And this is one of the reasons why we are adjusting the hatchery. So this was a test, the first, probably month or so that we've been doing this now. I have to watch trends and see, what effect that it's having. And so we are making some changes, which I'm going to explain to you here in a second. The liquidity pool, if you include those MoveQuest tokens as they're coming out of the hatchery, would need 4.3 million. Okay. So that means that liquidity pool or that portion of liquidity for the FDB there, we're only 63.2% fluid. And that's still really good for a token that's only been listed since August 1st. And you guys remember, it's paid out almost $25,000, people, or $25 million. That's what people have sold of their MoveQuest tokens since August 1st. And look at how stable this has been. Any other project that had been on the market for only 5 months, one, they don't have a self-sustaining ecosystem. So the engagement within the ecosystem here provides a liquidity. Any other project would have already been gone and it would have never, ever been able to have a community exchange over $25 million worth of tokens and still have a market value of over $10 on that token. So that should tell you something. At the current level of liquidity, if all of these tokens up here that are being held in wallets, that 287,000, the floor price of MoveQuest is $4.05. Now go take a look at StepN, go take a look at, Sweat and, GeoPets and all these other move to earn tokens that are out there that have been on the market for 2 to 3 years that have 100,000 or more users, and they can't get their token past a penny. And I think there's only a couple that are actually over a nickel. And there might be one that's almost at 15 cents. Okay, our bottom floor is $4.05. That's if everybody went in cash. Right now, today, the price is going to go down to $4.05. That's not bad, right? Once we reach this liquidity level here, where we add that, we get to that 3.6 million, the bottom floor price would be $10.67. And if we had the liquidity in there to include what's in the hatchery, the bottom price would be $15.31. So what does that tell the community? Those of you that don't need to sell it, don't sell it. Those of you that don't need to cash your MoveQuest out to cover submission fees, don't do it. And I love what I was on a call the other day with Justin actually, and he was saying, I remember when I was mining Bitcoin and Bitcoin was at $2, but it cost me $7 a day to mine my Bitcoin. I was losing money for all the Bitcoin that I was mining. Well, here we didn't make your fees cost more than what you're mining, right? People don't understand how that ecosystem and stuff works. So we adjust things, and we've got all these other pieces within the ecosystem to counter different parts. So savor that MoveQuest and hold on to it if you can. That's my recommendation for those of you that don't have to sell. All right, now I'm going to go on to the hatchery because this is literally what I want to talk about, and I've only got 11 minutes. So we're going to have a 4-tier hatchery where we're doing some final testing today. Of course, I've changed things up on the developers all the time. So we've got the quad hatchery that'll come out after the update, but we got the 4-tier hatchery that will either go live later tonight or sometime tomorrow, hopefully in the morning. They're testing it. I wanted to give people the option to mine and get your miners where you can afford, okay, to be. We don't want any barrier of entry with this project. And because of the self-sustaining ecosystem and because we are the manufacturer of the miners, we've got some flexibility with the different things that we can do with the features and things that we offer with this project. So we are going to offer to the community 4 different types of hatchery. The one that we're currently in right now, honestly, yeah, we wanted to lock up the MoveQuest, right? For those of you that were holding it, um, and not charge the hatch fee, not a real high hatch fee if you were locking up the MoveQuest. So what we did was we were charging higher than what it would actually cost you to mint the miner. So where a navigator would cost you $50 to mint it, you would have to deposit $100 of MoveQuest, pay the $3 hatch fee, and then once your miner hatched in 7 days, you could claim that $100 of MoveQuest because we don't keep any of the MoveQuest. It's just takes it out of circulation. It removes that selling pressure. What we found is a lot of people were taking advantage of it just to get those miners because you didn't have to pay the $6,400 to get to Titans. That's what it costs. If you want to mine with 8 Titans, it's going to cost you $6,400. It's $800 per miner. And so the hatchery gives you some relief. But what was happening, so let's say you wanted to get the Vanguards, $550 to deposit of the MoveQuest to get those Vanguards. Granted, it was only, I think, $24 per hatched Vanguard, but you got so much MoveQuest locked up. Well, people were buying the MoveQuest, and then they would hatch and they go sell their MoveQuest, which is fine and dandy. But that's where you see some of that heavy selling pressure. And that's what just happened over the last couple of days. The positive side of that is that you have more people in the community who are mining, right? They're every single day, they are contributing to that ecosystem. So we wanted to give people a little bit of flexibility and make it a little bit better on the ecosystem too. So let me put this at 125%. This calculator will be available to you. It's a great tool to use. You can never hatch a Titan. Okay, the only way anybody will ever get a Titan is if they evolve, right? You have to merge 2 Vanguards to get 1 Titan. So basically what we did, or what I did, is I took what it costs. Okay, if you were going to mint your navigators and then go and evolve them to the Trailblazer, to the Explorer, to the Vanguard, and then merge from the Vanguard to the Titan. I figured out what all those costs would be. Then you're going to have 4 options. So if you want to, and it all depends on what you can afford. If you want to do 25% MoveQuest, okay, maybe you have the MoveQuest already. You'll have to deposit $100 of MoveQuest. Your fee on a navigator will be $300. You'll get them right away. Okay, now this is on 8 because you can only mine with 8 miners. So right now, if you're going for Titan, you don't need Navigator, Trailblazer, Explorer. If you are mining or minting the Navigator, Trailblazer, Explorers, you're either going to use those for leasing or that's what you plan to mine with. So we're just figuring those at 8, that you're going to do 8 of those. And when you get this calculator, anything in yellow you can change, okay, so that you can figure out what it is that is going to work for you. So here you would put in the today's current market value and how many miners you're going to mine with, and what percentage you want, 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100. Those are the four options. So basically what this is letting you know is that if you wanted to get to, we'll talk about the Vanguard, 16 Vanguards, it would cost you $2,700. And then to merge those to Titan would be another 2,800. So you're saving 900 if you're only depositing 25% MoveQuest. Okay, the less MoveQuest you deposit, the more AVAX in the hatch fee that you pay. So you see, it's still 100%. It's 100% of what the evolution cost is. The only difference is we don't keep your MoveQuest. So the more MoveQuest you deposit, the less AVAX you have to spend. However, the longer your lockup time is. Okay, so here you're only doing 25% MoveQuest, so the lockup time isn't as long. You'll get your MoveQuest will be claimable in 60 days. So you'd get 8 of your miners right up front, but the MoveQuest wouldn't be available for 60 days. Same thing with the Vanguards. If you're doing 16 Vanguards, you would deposit $900 of MoveQuest, 85 MoveQuest. And you would spend the 2,700 in the AVAX hatch fee. And in 60 days, you would be able to get your MoveQuest back. But immediately you'd get your 16 Vanguards. You need 16 Vanguards to merge them into the Trailblazers, or I mean, into the Titans. Now, down here further on the calculator, I show you what the 8 Titans retail price is, what the Hatchery to Vanguard costs right here, what the Vanguard merge to Titan costs. So your total cost, if you're doing 25% MoveQuest deposit, is $5,500, not $6,400. So it saves you $900. Now, if you're going to do, if your situation is different and you want to do 50% deposit in MoveQuest, it drops your fee in AVAX by half, but you'll see it increases the time the MoveQuest is locked. So the more MoveQuest, the less you pay in AVAX. The goal here, what we do is we pair this to the MoveQuest token, not your MoveQuest token, but what's banked, okay, that the evolution has, so that the liquidity is padded, so that when you do get the MoveQuest back, the market value is higher, or the liquidity pool is stronger. But even though it's 100% of what you would pay, you're getting all of the MoveQuest back. Okay, so in this situation, you're actually saving $1,800. Is the MoveQuest locked up longer? It is. Because you're using more MoveQuest, you're paying less in fees. So the MoveQuest is locked up longer. It gives less selling pressure for a longer period of time. But it saves you $1,800 on getting your 8 Titan miners. So instead of paying $6,400, you're only paying $4,600. That's a big deal for a lot of people. And a lot of you mined, and a lot of you are holding on to a lot of MoveQuest. So this doesn't affect you a whole lot, right? You're not planning on selling it anyway. So it gives you a place to put it and let it work for you. If you want to do the 75%, that means that you're locking up more MoveQuest, less AVAX spent to hatch the miners, but it's locked up for 180 days. But it's saving you 2,700. Now, for those 8 Titans, you're only spending $3,700. Okay, that's the hatchery and the merge through the evolution contract to get to those Titans. Yes, the lockup is longer, but it relieves the selling pressure. It removes it out of circulation. It stabilizes the liquidity pool. And in the long run, it brings more value to you as the user. Not only are you saving the money, you never lose the MoveQuest. You always get it back. We don't keep any of your MoveQuest. And then we have the 100%. If you're going to do 100% deposit, the fee is, there's a 15% fee because we still have to add the liquidity because you're hatching those miners. So those miners have to have liquidity behind them. Okay, every time a miner is hatched, it's gonna go right into circulation. You're gonna dock it and you're gonna start mining. And so immediately there's got to be liquidity that's there for that miner through the ecosystem. But now you could see you're actually saving three grand. It's locking it up for 222 days, the MoveQuest. And maybe some people won't like that, but it removes the selling pressure and you don't have any out of pocket with that, or hardly any. It'd be $540. You got 16 Vanguards. The upside to the community is that now we have somebody in the community who is mining. They're engaged in the ecosystem. They got a 220-day commitment, right, to the project. It stabilizes the liquidity pool because that's 222 MoveQuest tokens that aren't going to be sold for, or not 222, 342 MoveQuest tokens that won't be sold for 222 days. But you only paid $540 for those 16 Vanguards. So this option right here, this is for people who aren't planning on converting their MoveQuest, right? Not planning on selling it or exchanging it. You're long-term holders. This is more where you'd want to be, okay, to get to those Vanguards. The AVAX fee, it's unavoidable because it adds that liquidity to the pool. Okay, every single piece of the ecosystem is adding that liquidity. But the bottom line is you saved $3,060. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the 50/50, right? Just to kind of give everybody an idea. And this equals this minus this. I haven't quite figured out how to make it so that it picks up that 15% fee if you do 100% of the MoveQuest. So just keep that in mind when you get this calculator, that there is that 15% fee there. Now let's talk about your startup costs real quick. This calculator is going to give you those startup costs at 50. If you do the 50/50, 50% MoveQuest, 50% AVAX, you're saving $1,800, okay, to get your 8 Titans. And only spending 4,600 versus the 64. So here, basically what I'm doing is I'm going over your startup costs. The navigator, you can only mine with 8 of the navigators. So you got the $200 startup, and this is basing it off of the AVAX fee, not the MoveQuest itself, because you get that back. So we don't include that in the startup cost because that's really, you can't consider that an expense when really all it is just, it's kind of like, it's just a deposit. You get it all back, every single one of the MoveQuest, not even just the market value. You get every single MoveQuest back. If you deposited 19.01 MoveQuest, you're going to claim 19.01 MoveQuest once the hatchery is completed. So that's what the startup cost is. Now, looking at the Vanguard, looking at the Titan, these are what you can relatively expect to mine at 100% physical activity. Once I give you guys this calculator here, you'll be able to see based on your level of activity, how many steps you should take, the max distance you'd travel, your workout, your calories, and the max sleep. And this will all be programmed into the website as well. But for this piece here, you're just gonna have to kind of wing it. You know, if you're doing 100% of the physical activity, you're doing 20,000 steps, a 2-hour workout, yada, 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 right? 50% of that would be half of it. 75% of it would be, you know, what, 12,500 steps or whatever it is. You can do the math. It's pretty simple math. I just haven't had time to put it in here. So we'll stick to a 100%. If you're doing 20,000 steps a day, then you don't have to go walking outside. You can run in place and at your house, right? You can do whatever you got to do. You just got to get up and move. I've gotten steps just crocheting little octopuses for my granddaughters. So, you know, that gives me steps because you're moving your hands. It's movement. Granted, it's not physical, but it is good for your brain. That's healthy too. Everything you do that includes some form of movement is healthy for you. I'm just telling you that if you want to get to that 100% activity, you can get there if you want to. Um, you have to remember that you have a 50% reserve, and I'm going to go over that a little bit tonight too. So your total daily, when you submit that proof of physical activity, the total MoveQuest you're getting, if you're mining with a Titan, you're actually mining 3 MoveQuests per day, not 1.5. So I really want people to get used to thinking about that because I think when I tell you the end part, don't let me forget this, Ken and Herschel, you guys here, to go over how that distribution is going to work. You'll think twice about really kind of being silly when you sell, because there's going to be some perks to those of you who aren't the heavy sellers on the distribution of that reserve. You basically will get more faster than heavy sellers will get it. But here's what you'll see on your daily proof of physical activity. If you're mining with 8 navigators, it's about $3.94 a day. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. All right. Really, if you go look at a lot of these other things, you're only mining with a 50% miner. It's a $50 miner. And if you come in through the hatchery, it's even less than that. Okay. If you come in through the hatchery, it's only $25 per miner. Granted, you had to lock up the MoveQuest, but you get that back. And by the time you get it back, if everything goes as is coming here very shortly in this very, very near future, it'll have a much higher market value once it unlocks. And you probably would have made enough money back to cover your costs anyhow. I know it's coming. And so I'm not worried about what's happening in the liquidity pool right now just because of that. You know what I mean? All the connections that we've made, the organizations, the companies, and the different groups and the influences that we're talking to. You guys were right on the brink of something amazing really about to happen. Those of you who are mining with the Trailblazers maxing out, you're making about $7.88 a day. 1182 on the Explorers, 1575 on the Vanguards, and 3151 on your Titans. Now, when you come down and you look at your fees, it changes it just a little bit. Instead of 394, it's 338 after fees. 684, 1022, 1367, 2727 on your Titans. Now, I set this up to hold for 365 days just because I wanted to see what 1 year looks like if somebody held it for 1 year at today's market value. And that would mean that a person that's mining with navigators after expenses within the ecosystem have still made $1,233.22 at today's market value. I don't know anywhere else that you can go where you can do everything you're already doing, become more healthy, and just be engaged in an ecosystem where you're submitting every day, you claim your miners. We'll have the boosts that are coming out here very, very soon. You guys will be able to boost beyond the 20,000 steps. Those of you who really start to, who are already over that mark, or you're doing the 20,000, you'll love the boost, and it boosts your dock, not your miners. This is really good. That's nothing to sneeze at. I've seen so many things. I know of so many things right now. I mean, I'm staking in projects that I've staking platforms for years. And there's some of them I don't even hit the $1,200 mark where I've staked for over a year already. I've only made a couple $100, okay, on some of these staking platforms. And those stuff will sit there for probably another 2 or 3 years. This is really good. On a Titan per year, those of you are mining with 8, those of you, and I know you guys have multiple accounts. We have some people over 4 watches, 6 watches. Okay, they're already making $60,000-$70,000 a year with 6 or 7 different accounts. So the hatchery is a really good way for you to take advantage of getting set up without having to spend the full $6,400. And it doesn't hurt the ecosystem. You are locking up the MoveQuest for X amount of days. And then the fees that you are spending, 90% of that becomes liquidity paired to the MoveQuest that the project is already banked. So really, it ends up being 180% that goes into the liquidity pool. So it's a win-win for everybody. It allows the community to get set up without having to spend the $6,400. It removes the selling pressure from the liquidity pool, and it actually contributes 180% to the liquidity on the hatch fees when you pay to get your miners set up and plugged in. Now, a lot of people have given me all their different values that they're hodling to. I've heard anything from 50 to $2,000 and $3,000. So I just kind of went where we've gone already in market value to $100. Those of you who aren't selling those MoveQuest tokens and you're mining every single day, you're submitting, once you get those reserve tokens, that's $109,000 income just by getting healthy when the token reaches $100. We've already been there. Okay, we will be back there and we will be way over the $100 mark at some point. That's not unachievable. You guys seen how easily we achieved it, right? I just said before I made that mistake and said, hey, big announcement, we're going to rebrand and we got everything a little easier. And then the developers got way delayed because it become more complex than we had planned. And we don't put anything up that's not done right. So that's just the way it is. This project is way, 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 way too one, too advanced, very complex, very innovative. And I'm a perfectionist, so everything has to be done absolutely 100% correct. So is the dev team, so is the design team. In fact, I think our entire core team of people that are even helping us put presentations together and videos together and, like the AMAs and the Zooms, I think they're perfectionists too. I think we've just kind of attracted that group. So we're doing everything the right way. 3.5 years, why botch it up now, right? So we're almost there. Of course, I threw in the new 4-tier hatchery for them to complete, and we had to get the UI done for that. So the design team was on that. And we're still looking to release the rebranded site here very, very soon. We're going to put a countdown on the website. We're going to have it in our hot little hands first, so we know it's absolutely done and ready to go. And then we're going to let you guys know, guess what? We got it. It's ready to go. And this is the day that we're going to release it, so we can get everybody pretty excited. But I am really excited when I see that number, $100, and a person who is physically moving every day, 20,000 steps. Okay. Is it a lot if you're not a healthy person? Yes, it can be, but you know what? Just increase that physical activity a little bit every day. Move your arms back and forth if that's what you've got to do. Add some weights to your arms and move your arms back and forth, holding onto those weights and strengthen your upper body. Walk in place, move in place. Get one of those little wheel things or cycle things, where you can even sit and do your cycling right from there and get your steps in. It's still a workout. Just turn on your workout on your watch. Do whatever you can do to start to increase your physical activity. Now, if you hold that till it's $1,000, you're making $1 million a year on your physical activity. And we will hit $1,000 on our token. There's not even a doubt in my mind that we will reach prices that Bitcoin's at. Why? Because we mirror Bitcoin's tokenomics with a very robust ecosystem. And so once you really start to pay attention to what we've got here and you understand how the tokenomics work, and the project never sells tokens. There was no allocation to anybody in this project, not me, not the designers. That's a big deal, you guys. When you look at crypto projects, there's always an allocation of tokens. The Trump token, that's the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. I am so really just almost disgusted that he even let a group of people launch that token. He should have met me. I could have written him some badass tokenomics, and that thing would have been so hot for so long. That token, if you spent your money on it, I suggest you move out as quick as you can. That's a disaster waiting to happen, and I hope it doesn't have a bunch of blowback on him. But I am going to have a call just on the Trump token so I can show you guys why you didn't want to buy it and be glad if you didn't get in. I almost did. I was so upset about it. I was like, oh my God. And then I'm like, I need to look at these tokenomics because I bet you they don't even know what they're doing. And they're terrible. So I'm going to do a call on that just because I think Trump needs to be educated on crypto. But anyway, this is an amazing project. And you guys won't be disappointed when you see what does happen. I'm excited, you guys. 5 months on the market, we're doing really good. Show me another move to earn token that's lasted at the $10 mark for 5 months straight. We're a community of only 5,000 people have been able to sell to almost $25 million and still have a token value of $10. I mean, kudos to all of you that you found the project And I appreciate every single one of you for finding the project. This is going to just show you right here. Once the token does hit that $1,000 mark, those of you who are holding to that mark, and I know there are many that are, that's a 68,000% return on what it costs you to mine to that market value. Those of you who do it at the $100 mark, that's still a $6,800 return, 6,800%. And if you just hold it for a year and it's still only $10, that's 617% return on what it cost you to mint, hatch, evolve, submit all of your expense on the within the ecosystem. It's still at 617%. I am going to, not before I make this calculator available, you guys can have it right now. Just remember, you can only change the yellow. Okay, that's it. There's only 4 options, 25, 50, 75, 100%. If you do 100%, there's a 15% fee. And if you do change this field to 15%, make sure you do equals 100 minus this field. So you can get the AVAX fee here. But I'll make this available so you guys can get it. I'll put it in, I'll probably give it to the core group and they can load it up in Discord for you guys so that you can kind of figure out which is best for you. I think it's a great way for people to get started. Granted, you're ponying up the 100%. Okay. No way around that. You have to contribute to the ecosystem. I was having a conversation with somebody today and I can't seem to make them understand that, you cannot just upgrade miners at no cost and then have people mine at higher powered miners. And then what they do is sell the MoveQuest that they mine on every day to get their submission fees, right? They convert it to USDT or AVAX or whatever they're doing to cover their submission fees. What they're proposing, and I'm not calling anybody out, it's just somebody with very good intentions that really wants to help out a decent sized group of people that have miners but can't afford to upgrade them. But and would like us to cover the cost of that or upgrade them or whatever. The problem with that is this, right? This is a self-sustaining ecosystem. Everybody who spends the money for your miners, it ain't no different than mining for Bitcoin or any of these other. You got to buy nodes, you got to buy the hardware, the software. You're buying your mining node to mine these tokens with your proof of physical activity, your physical activity. If you upgrade and don't charge people, then the people who did pay to upgrade, who have already contributed to the ecosystem, the people who you upgraded, who haven't spent any money, granted they want to pay it back, right? But they still would be going to the pool to sell the MoveQuest that they mined to cover their submission fees. That don't work. Okay, that's just like redistributing money that's already there. You have to contribute to the ecosystem. If you want to mine with a higher powered miner, you have to upgrade. And when you upgrade, it gives you more mining power. You're able to mine more tokens, but you're contributing to the ecosystem. And so it's there for you to do that. You're contributing to that ecosystem through the mining and through all the different, coming up to the higher powered miners. There's 5 different types of miners that you can mine with. So my whole point is this. We know that everybody's got different financial situations. We don't want a barrier of entry. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible. But the bottom line is that 100%, if somebody else paid 100%, you got to pay the 100%. But we can get creative, okay? Because you're locking this up. So there's no selling pressure on it for 120 days. That's a beautiful thing. And we've already got over 300,000 MoveQuests that the community through your contribution, right, to the ecosystem, the evolution buys that MoveQuest because it has to have the MoveQuest to pair it to the USDT to inject the liquidity pool. So it's got banked MoveQuest that it adds to this. And you're actually creating 180% liquidity injection through this. So it's a very powerful part to the ecosystem. It allows people to get involved without having to come out of pocket if you've already got the MoveQuest. Many of you are already mining and you want better miners, or you want to upgrade your miners, or you want to have miners to lease. So that's the hatcheries. So I went over by 28 minutes, right? Go figure. But that's all I got, guys. I'm going to make the calculator available. I do have the leasing one. It's so complex, you guys. With each one of these calculators, I will have a PDF that goes with it so you can follow it, so you know how to use it. But by the time you get done figuring out these spreadsheets and what all this means, you guys are going to be pros in the crypto space. And if you're hodling to that $1,000 mark, making that $1,000,000 off 1 year's mining rewards, you'll be a pro, trust me. You'll have it all down pat. You'll get to that 109 million or whatever it was if you hold to that $1,000 mark, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna see these spreadsheets. You're gonna go, oh my God, I get it, I get it, I get it. I see how all these pieces connect. I see how all of this balances out and how this ecosystem actually supplies the liquidity. It's not a community of people who have to create the pair and then deposit it and then hope you hold it there before you remove it. It's just automatic through the ecosystem, just like a blockchain without being a blockchain. So thank you guys for taking out your time on a Tuesday night. I'm going to send this back
Perfect,
over to you
perfect,
guys.
perfect. Miss Lynette, one thing you mentioned in the beginning to remind you about the
Oh,
vault.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so when we get ready to do the distribution of the reserve move quest, we're already working on the algorithm. So what will happen is you'll have on your dashboard, it's going to tell you exactly how many move quests that you've mined. Those of you that are holding it, you'll have instructions on your dashboard. When we get ready to do the distribution, you'll just deposit that into your internal wallet, which is a very safe place to have it anyway, and you can remove it. But whatever will be in that internal wallet, the system is going to look. Okay, so for example, let's say you're somebody who's got Titans and you've mined, let's say 3,000 move quest, but you only have 100 left. You sold 2,900 of them. Chances are you're a heavy seller. But you are another person who you still got 2,500 of them. It'll be a ratio based on uh, selling pressure. Okay. And that's done on purpose to make sure that when that other 2,500 a day move quest goes out, that it doesn't create overselling on the liquidity pool. So we have to be extremely careful with the level of liquidity based on the amount of MoveQuest that's in circulation. And that 2,500 every single day, that's adding up. That's almost a 500,000 MoveQuest right now. In fact, I can tell you exactly to the right down to the number what it is. 435,000 MoveQuest have been mined since August 1st. So right now there's still 435,000 in that reserve contract that goes out to the community based on what you've already mined. Okay, if you're somebody who's a heavy holder, you'll get yours distributed at a higher level. There'll be a percentage. So if there's 100%, let's say each day there's 100 that go out, or maybe it's the 2,500, who knows? It all based on liquidity. The algorithm is there. So the algorithm lets us know exactly what goes out, but it'll be based on a percentage based on selling behavior. So if you're somebody who just, you know, claims, sells, claims, sells, claims, sells, and you're not one of those holders, you're going to put selling pressure on the project. So to look at the liquidity, it will look at the selling pressure that the person, or not, we don't know who the person is, but that the wallet's history is based on the wallet holder's history. And it will release on a percentage level based on making sure that the liquidity is still strong. So where somebody who is a holder or longer holder, they may get more faster, and somebody who is a seller may get less longer over a period of time. It's all based on an algorithm. Now, this takes right off crazy. the demand is there, it won't even matter. That algorithm won't even have to go into play. They'll just distribute, and that's the way it is. So there's a lot of things that are playing into it, but I've had a lot of people ask me, how will that work with the distribution of the 2,500? Because you have some people who will just go straight to the exchange and they will just sell them, which once they're released and they're in your wallet, that's fine. But you got to make sure that the liquidity pool can handle that selling pressure. So the liquidity, the selling trend of the wallet, all those factors will play into it. You guys will see the full algorithm. We'll let you know before it happens anyway. Now, again, once we get going and this thing turns around, that may not even be a situation, but I have had several people message me that have wanted to know how that would be handled if, it takes longer to get to the market value and the liquidity level that we want. So just so everybody knows, there's two ways it'll be handled. If this thing, goes crazy like it should over the next, 2 to 3 months based on what, connections we've made, it wouldn't even be a situation. It wouldn't even be an issue. If it takes longer, then you guys know that we have set it up so that there is a systematic way of doing it to make sure that selling pressure doesn't take place.
Perfect, perfect. Now, I'd have to ask two quick questions because I know we want to be mindful of everyone's time. But I know this is going to be a resonating question. For those individuals that have taken your advice and made sure for security reasons they've distributed their tokens into other wallets for safekeeping.
Yeah, that we'll know. It'll see. The algorithm will see all of that. So, and not only that, but they can move it. Will I'll let them know. I really don't think it's going to be an issue. This is just if, the token and things didn't take off. But you'll be able to put the MoveQuest. The system will want you to deposit it into your internal wallet.
Perfect.
So you may have to move it from 4 or 5 wallets into your mining wallet, just so that the algorithm can pick it up and see.
Okay.
And once it has it, you're good, right? It'll know that it's there. And then it can do its calculations and run it, and you can move it back to your 5 wallets. So we already understood that that was going to be an issue because honestly, you guys, there's still some that haven't moved it. Still worries me, unless you got it in cold storage, which is a beautiful thing. But yeah. So we do know that that's been something that we've, highly recommended that people do. And so the only way to really kind of counter that is to just have, move the move quest into your internal. Don't do it right now. Wait till we tell you if you even have to do it. We'll let you know as we get closer to the distribution of that. We don't want to hold those for too long. We really want to get them out to people. So we really want this to turn around so we don't have that reserve in there because we are going to be increasing the amount of MoveQuest that is distributed here very shortly. The algorithm is already said to open up the 9th slot. And in order to open up the 9th slot and make it worth people's time and effort to do the 9th slot, you need the distribution to be higher. So I've got two things, pinging me. One, unlock the 9th slot. The algorithm wanted us to do it at 30,000. We're at almost 40,000, but it's still not it's not, to me, I'm ignoring that. And again, the 9th slot, I'm ignoring that too. And both of those have triggered to go. And we haven't. It's been about almost a month, I think, that those have triggered to go. And I haven't pushed the button on them. So when we do, we'll have to increase the amount that goes out a day or release what's already been mined. We got one or two options there. So weighing both of those out. So that's why I'm really starting to kind of pay attention to exactly how that's going to happen and all these questions that have come in. And I've told everybody I'll let you know when I know. So I've figured out how that's going to go out, and we got the algorithm ready to go if need be. So one of two things will happen: an increase in the daily distribution or a distribution from the reserve. So we are starting to get to those milestones where these things will start to take place. But I'm going to really wait until after the rebranded site is launched, the leasing comes out, and we see what takes place with the community growth before we go do anything like that anyway. So we got time, but I just like to let people know so they're thinking on it and they are prepared, like can let their people know that they've shared MoveQuest with. the project with.
Okay, perfect, perfect. One last quick one, and then Ken, you can go ahead and close us out. Will the new hatchery, will there be an MQT cap on the amount that will be allowed into this new hatchery, like it was
No,
on
I
the
don't think
previous?
so.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, perfect.
The
Ken?
reason we put that cap on the other one is because of how low the um, hatch fees were. And I really wanted to kind of watch it, pay attention to it. You
Okay.
know, that one there, we're going to start phasing it out. So though, you know, I am going to lower the amount of move cost that it takes. And the hatch fees will come up. Here's the thing for the community. Those of you who absolutely love that hatchery, it will only retire itself as I'm able to cut down the move cost. So those of you who really do like that one, you want to like quickly redeposit right away when you claim. Because as I catch it, we'll start moving it down. And then eventually we may just close it out completely, but it'll probably be up for another 30 to 60 days as we start to decrease the amount of move costs that can go in that one. But the other ones at this point in time, no, we don't have a cap on it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lynette. Ken, go ahead and close us out, sir.
No, I'm good, man. This has been good. A lot of insight. Just a lot of things to be excited about. Just looking forward to all this playing out, and um, each and every person that want to take advantage. Obviously, there's a lot of questions. It's relatively familiar, but there's some new wrinkles, in the hatchery and whatnot. So a lot of these questions we can address, in Discord, and, on Facebook, and in the support chats, and with support as well. So we're all learning, we're all growing. So uh, don't worry, you're not gonna get left behind. We'll be fine. So Lynette, thanks so much for the information tonight. Some of these updates and more iterations of this amazing platform. And we will see you all on Thursday. And it is not Thursday today. I was a little ahead. We're all snowed in down here in Houston. But anyway, appreciate each and every one of you being a part of this movement and this platform. And we'll see you on the socials. And we'll also get to those that were on the AMA that won those prizes, those winners. We'll get to you as well. I know I saw a couple of people in the chat on that, and we'll get to you. And we'll look forward to announcing the next space that we're going to have as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, thanks everybody. Y'all have a great night. Keep moving.
All right.
Keep sending. Keep claiming.
And everyone remember, tomorrow is Wednesday, and Mr. Brandon Ivan, Ms. Marnita Costa will be hosting a MoveQuest presentation at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at health2wealth.live. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.